The Nigerian police force has dismissed claims by human rights activist Shehu Sani that there are Endsars protesters still in detention. The NPF stated that the call by Sani on President Bola Tinubu during Democracy Day celebration on June 12 to release scores of Endsars protesters still in detention is misleading. A statement by the force Public Relations Officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi said Sani's claim is misleading as no Endsars protester is still in detention. It will be recalled that in October 2020, young people across Nigeria took to the streets calling for the disbanding of an abusive police unit known as the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, and for government to end police brutality. The movement was tagged Endsars, #Endsars. However, security forces responded with excessive force, including gunfire, which resulted in deaths, serious injuries, and arrests. Joining us now on the morning show is Ayoyinka Oni, Lagos State Chairman, African Action Congress, AAC, former Lagos Coordinator, Take It Back Movement, and Co-Coordinator, Endsars United. Good morning, and welcome to the morning show.
Thank you for having me.
Who should we believe here?
Well,
Shehu Sani or Olumuyiwa Adejobi, although I'm tempted to stay on the side of Shehu Sani, given the record of the Nigerian police that we know.
Thank you very much. Well, I don't know what the police PR is trying to do or politics is trying to play, but there are facts that there are people still in detention. And they have names, they have faces. We have been having numerous prison visits since 2020 till date, and we have their names. And people have been released. Darry Williams is still in detention. He was picked due to Endsars. Daniel Joibu is still in detention. Was picked due to Endsars. Ismail is still in detention. Many of them, and there are lists of people that are still in prison. So when the government is saying, or through the prayer that people are not in jail, they were pardoned, it sounds a bit funny. What are they trying to play?
All right. So you mentioned names. You say that they're not, the police is in very little economical with the truth. What would you say has been the efforts by groups like yourselves? And I mean, Mr. Shehu Sani spoke up on Democracy Day. What efforts have been made, and what has the response been like? Because I know that the advocacy never stopped. I know that the campaigns never stopped in terms of, I've seen a few of them around. So what have you done, to what extent, and what has been the response so far? Has it always been denial, or have there been engagement with the police force? Yeah,
so basically the police have done what I would call a wicked duty of picking up people illegally and accusing them of numerous crimes. Obviously, when you pick people up, you're not going to say they are Endsars protesters. It makes no sense, So they just accuse them of arson, armed robbery, and maybe public disturbance, which they have not been able to prove for 3-4 years. And they dump them in prison, Kirikiri Koyi prison, and they lay their hands. So basically, where we now have issues is with the judiciary. Some of them don't have lawyers. We get lawyers for them. Over the past 4 years, Take It Back Movement and some other groups, Endsars United, have been able to get people out of jail. Nicholas Umba was one of the earliest released in 2021. Then we had Shiya Ubola in December, Sunday Okoro. The latest 3 that were released recently, Olumide, Oluwole, they were released March 2025. Endsars protesters. 2024, sorry. Okay. March this year, just a few months ago. Right. And guess what? Where we have problem is the judicial system. A case of Darry Williams, he has had over 18 times in court. And what is going on? Adjournment. What's
he accused of?
He's accused of armed robbery, arson. And Darry Williams, I'm not mistaken, was not even picked in October. I think it was late December. And guess what? Because he posted videos of police being beaten and being molested during the Endsars on his WhatsApp TV that he downloaded from Twitter like everybody. And he was picked up, taken first to Sabo police station, spent days there, tortured, beaten, before he was taken to SARS, from there headed up as Kirikiri. So the judicial system needs to help us. All this unnecessary adjournment. If you said a young man of 21, now he has spent four birthdays in police station, in Kirikiri rather, prove it that he was an armed robber or arson. But no, that has not been done, and keep adjourning case over 18 times. It's unfair.
Let's humanize these people. Let's go through this case-by-case file.
Okay.
There's this poster, Endsars, victims in Sanwo-Olu's prison in Lagos 2023. Sadiq Rewan, Hakeem Aziz, Charles Gustin Adele, Idris Lawos, Quadri Aziz. Is Hakeem Aziz and Quadri Aziz, are they brothers?
They are about 31. So let me
31 of them. Moses Ofoke, Kabiru Ajetumobi. Can you
let me break down that list. So this list was released late 2023.
Okay.
I think before the election or after the election. And as at that time, most of these people were still in prison. Now, this is the case. The case is that movement and lawyers do not have the strength.
Are all of these people still in prison?
Most of them, not all.
About
3 of them have been released out of this list. Okay. Some of them have their own lawyers, which we don't know. Yes. Okay. Some of them have their own lawyers, which we don't know. And some of them being in jail for over 4 years have accepted the plea bargain. So many of these people are still in jail. Some are out already. But the ones that we are working on, that we know that they are still in jail, Dare Williams is still in jail. Okay. Daniel Joibo is still in jail. Adigun Sodiq is still in jail. Ismail Olaogun is still in jail. Rashid Bolaji is still in jail. Moshood Biola is still in jail. Ismail is in Kirikiri maximum prison.
As we speak now.
Yes, this young boy was 20 years when he was picked in his home in Ikorodu by thugs and the police. 20 years. And they pick a knife which he used in selling fish as part of the evidence. He's still in prison to date.
And these are the ones you're working on?
Yes, these are the ones we are working on. But that list is clear and is evidence because we don't want, when a movement are doing this alone, it is a strain on movement.
Are you sure that there are some other people that you might not have captured in your list that might still be in prison?
That is it. That is it.
Are you sure of that?
Yes, there are people that
will still be there. Because these ones are only in prisons in Lagos, other prisons, other parts of the country. So are you sure of them?
Yeah, there are people still, because when we go to court, we meet these people that we are not the one handling their case. And they tell us they were picked due to Endsars.
Okay. Now, there are issues here about enforcement of fundamental human rights.
Yes.
So the lawyers will go and argue that in court to secure their release. In some of those cases, do the lawyers insist on damages being awarded?
Yes.
Because the Nigerian state cannot just pick somebody up, frame up charges, and keep them in prison for 4 years or indefinitely. Second, what effect does this have on the movement? Obviously, the purpose of repression is to discourage people who want to take back Nigeria. So what has been the experience? Do you see almost complete, near complete loss of enthusiasm on people who ordinarily allow themselves to be mobilized? Because many parents will say, don't go and join them.
Yes.
Otherwise, they will lock you up. You know,
you get
what has been the effect on the movement?
Yes, definitely. There's not going to be any naysay that it's in a way affected the morals of young people. People were shot at. Those are victims also. And also, people have been in jail 20 years, 21 years. So that Williams has done. He's born December, 4 birthdays in prison. He has been marshal all the time. So definitely has reduced the morale. And also when the movement have to be going after bringing people out of prison, where there are other issues. The police brutality issue has not stopped. That's not ended. But people cannot leave them behind. You have to bring them out of jail. And you spoke something about fundamental human rights, which is very painful because you arrested people, discriminated illegally, accused them of crimes that they never committed, you couldn't prove it, and finally the courts granted them guilty and acquitted and discharged. But the case is that most of these victims don't have the funds to file for case of fundamental human rights. Sheya Obola never filed for anything. Nicholas Umba never filed for anything. Sadiq, Sadiq came out of jail, he was on a sick bed. He never filed for anything. And lawyers have done many of these cases pro bono. For them to now take up fundamental human rights case pro bono again is a bit difficult. But let's assume the government is responsible. When these people are out of jail, and you know that it was the state that took them to this journey of sadness and wickedness, why don't you yourself compensate these people publicly? I say, yes, we did this is wrong.
Bring money out to compensate some people.
Okay, so those that were compensated backdoor, which I'm very aware of, were not those that went to prison. it was victims at the toll gates that were shot.
In Lagos State.
In Lagos State. And instead of the government to say, okay, yes, we agree that we did this, and publicly do it, they went to backdoor. They invited them to the hotel. I got the message too. And we want...
People collected money.
Yes, yes.
How much did they give them?
I think they gave them in 2 batches, maybe 1 point something. I don't remember. Yes, at the end of the day.
So it wasn't an evaluation of their condition?
No, it was... For me, what I saw was that it just a way to shut people up so the election can go smoothly.
Let's leave Lagos State for a moment, because this didn't happen just in Lagos State. And I'm glad that we highlighted the fact that the names that you have listed are just in Lagos. We cannot just speak for those in Lagos. How about those who are outside Lagos? Do you have an idea of, I know you're the Lagos State chairman, but you must have networks where you speak to the, to your other colleagues across Nigeria. What have those state governors done? Because whether backdoor or not, at least the Lagos State government has acted to some extent. What have other states done? And then in terms of, protesters who are still in detention in prisons across Nigeria, who is standing up for them? Who is speaking for them? And what is their lot like?
Yeah, the Endsars United, which formed a bit shortly after, before the first anniversary, has in a way connected most of the states. And a lot of people also have been released over the years. In Ondo State, there was a lady that was pregnant. She even gave birth in prison. Joy Ogunei.
I think I heard that.
Yes.
Story, yeah.
Then also there was Free Oyo 11, which was very taxing, but Take Back Movement and also other group were able to bring them out. But information is low in many of these states, even though we keep following up. In Oyo State, the panel report was not even released. Oyo State,
really?
It was not released. If it was released, till the date, Seyi Makinde should tell us. And for Lagos State that was released, not even one of the recommendation has been done by the state or the federal.
No, but it was part of compensation. Compensation was part of the recommendation.
Well, not backdoor compensation. Not backdoor. When you are compensating people for what you did as injustice against them, you should do it openly and apologize.
But why did those people collect the money too?
I will explain this because when that message came out,
who sent the message from who?
It was the person that was used was the Commissioner of Information in Lagos State. I can't remember his name now.
Okay.
But I know him if I say. Yes,
okay.
And they told us to come to hotel.
What hotel?
I can't remember. Don't tell anybody off your phone.
Where was the hotel?
We told victims.
Where was the hotel?
I can get it after.
Where was it? Mainland or island?
I can't remember. Well, we told victims.
And they said you should off your phone.
They said they shouldn't record. They should. But some of them still did anyway. We told victims.
Do you have those videos?
They do. I used to have it on my former phone. We told victims. We are activists and lawyers. What we do is to manage these people, and advise them and fight for them. You cannot really force them. They are not kids. But many of them, if you watch, there are people that are hungry. They have not have stable life yet. So we told them, you cannot collect funds like that. Government just want to shut you up.
How many of them collected the money?
I think at least over 20. At least.
20 of them collected the money.
At least.
And they said
rough count.
Rough count, 20.
Yes. Yeah. The last time that funds came out, I think it was around May 2022. And that was the second batch or so, if I can remember now.
So how many collected first batch? How many collected second batch?
I think over 20 of them.
First batch?
Yes.
Second batch?
Similar, same people.
So 20, so 40 people.
So both some organizers and victims.
Okay.
But that is not justice.
You recall that the panel that was set up by the Lagos State government that sat in the open with lawyers, in resolving some of those issues, awarded compensation to some people.
Yes.
To quite a number. And that was not done back door.
I
hope it's not that you are referring to.
No, it's not that. That was for victims of SARS.
Okay, but government in Lagos intervened in that
yes.
regard. But as your group, consider the possibility of approaching the chief judges in the various states where your members have been detained illegally, either on trump-up charges or they were just picked up just because they were involved in Endsars, so that when those chief judges visit the prisons, they can release them because, under the criminal justice system, chief justice of the various states, they have the power
to do that,
to release people. Have you considered that option?
Yes, you have considered that option, and this is also an opportunity to call out to them that we are available, the press is available, activists are lawyers are available.
No, the chief judges will not come to you.
Yes.
You have to identify the people. You have to
write to
follow
them.
due process.
Oh, yes, we will write to them. But I'm also using this opportunity to also call out to them that we need to do that. So even apart from SARS victims, SARS victims, there are people that are in jail for little or no reason. 6 years, 8 years, 9 years, that the system can easily release them. And I am very, a bit angry at the word that the National PRO used when they said pardon. You don't pardon people that never commit any crime. Why are you saying you pardon them? We pardon some people. The people that Babaji Sanwo-Olu pardoned, let him release their names. Let's see them. Because you can't pardon people that never committed any crime. The Endsars that have been released so far, they still need to fight for the mental human rights case against the government for keeping them for so long for committing no crimes.
All right. Well, thank you.
Well, on that note, we would like to thank you very much, Ayoyinka Oni, coordinator of the Endsars United, for joining us on the morning show.